quiet town at the heart of India, where silence often speaks louder than cannons, lies a name carved from paradox, military headquarters of warfare, known widely as MHOW. This place has never been just a dot on the map. It has been an idea forged in fire, thought, strategy, and irony. The irony begins not with men, but with gods. Just a short distance from here, in the ancient city of Ujjain, stands the Mahakaleshwar temple, home to one of the 12 revered Jyotirlingas, the sacred abodes of Lord Shiva. But this is no ordinary Shivlinga. It is Swayambhu, self-born, untamed by time or touch. Lord Shiva, the creator and destroyer, the yogi and the warrior, resides here in his fierce form of Mahakal, the very embodiment of cosmic irony. From Mahakal's eternal gaze, this land inherited its rhythm, a rhythm that moved with empires. It was under this divine shadow that the Holkar dynasty of the Maratha Empire rose to prominence. At its heart stood Ahilyabai Holkar, the queen who rebuilt what others destroyed. Rooted in Sanatan Dharma, she resurrected temples from Kashi Vishwanath to Somnath, turning ruin into reverence. She ruled, she rebuilt, and she resisted, holding off British advances while tending to Dharma. But empires shift. After Ahilyabai, the British arrived, not just with blades, but with bureaucracy. They claimed this town, the sacred soil, and stamped it with the title stripped of soul. Military headquarters of warfare, MHOW. To them, it was a perfect garrison, centrally located, rail-linked, ideal for control and suppression. Here, they trained not only soldiers in arms, but officers in the subtler art of psychological warfare, drafting propaganda, breaking resistance, and turning policy into a weapon. And in the very center of this military town, irony took physical form, a statue of Mahatma Gandhi, the apostle of non-violence, caged behind symbolic bars. A man of peace, trapped in a place of war. Some say it's just a statue for honoring him. Others see it as a question carved in stone. Were the choices of our independence the right ones? And what if the leaders who understood strategy and justice, like Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar, born here, or Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose, India's original military tactician, had become Prime Minister? Would the partition have ever happened? For the truth is, India was meant to gain independence, not division. The principle was clear: Pakistan for Muslim communities, Hindustan for Hindu communities. Yet, history turned sharply, and Pakistan became the Islamic Republic of Pakistan, while India never became the Sanatan Republic of Hindustan. The compromise left lines on maps and scars on hearts that remain to this day. And here, in the land of Mahakal, the layers of this irony are visible in stone. It is here, at the crossroads of belief, power, and memory, that the contradictions of the nation are laid bare. On April 14, 1891, from this very soil, Ambedkar would rise to become the father of the Indian Constitution. With the pen as his weapon, he would dismantle centuries of oppression and gave India its legal soul. Bose, on the other hand, sought to liberate India's body with disciplined military precision. One embodied law, the other embodied force. Both understood the necessity of strategy. Even after independence, the Indian state kept MHOW's military legacy alive. The Army War College, Infantry School, and Military College of Telecommunication Engineering stand here, training warriors of the present as the Holkars once did in the past. The weapons have changed, but the discipline remains, as does the watchful gaze of Mahakal. This town has always been a place of dualities: Shiva's creation and destruction, Ahilyabai's devotion and resistance, Gandhi's peace and the army's precision, Ambedkar's pen and Bose's sword. And yet, the questions remain. Gandhi's statue still stands behind its bars in the market, silent, unblinking, as if waiting for an answer. The Bhim Janmabhoomi still shares its boundary with a mosque under military care. The partition's wounds still ache in the nation's psyche. It is said that Mahakal neither begins nor ends. He transforms, and so does this land. From Holkar to the British, from MSOW to Dr. Ambedkar Nagar, from colonial cantonment to national command, it has never stopped reinventing itself. Here, under Mahakal's eternal watch, history is not a straight line, it's a circle. A circle where strategies are written, battles are fought, and nations are reborn. A circle that reminds us, in the language of gods and men, that creation and destruction are never opposites, but two faces of the same truth.